Barca won 4-0. Finally, we've played some good football. It's been a little bit too long since we've seen the boys play well. And, chat's having a good time. Spam and chat W's. We haven't had a really good win in a very long time. And it's just a lot of joy, a lot of excitement. But realistically, how did the squad play today, right? Because that's the important part. We can take away a win is a win. 3 points is 3 points. And it doesn't necessarily matter that we win by 1 goal or by 4 goals. But like for sentiment wise and for what this club needs, we needed this. But how do we play? So realistically, I don't think we played amazingly. I think we defended okay. I think we held possession okay. To be fair, we defended pretty well, but we only held possession okay. But we created so many chances, mostly because I think Getafe were just terrible. They really were not good today. They did not have sustained possession, and their high line was just atrocious. They made it very easy for us to play balls in behind. It was kind of like us in the Supercopa. Somebody in chat said this earlier. It was like us in the Supercopa against Real Madrid. Our high line was so high and we couldn't do anything about it. They were doing the same thing. Their high line was so high, and the problem was they couldn't track back and defend at all. We had so many chances in that first half to walk out with it only 1-0. It's ridiculous, but they played really well. Rafinha had a pretty solid game. I said in chat, all right, guys, calm down with the W spam now. Spam. We came out okay in that first half. Rafinha had so many chances, and he had a good game. Of course, you walk away with whatever, a goal and assist, or however he did today, and you got to be happy. But he could have easily had a hat trick in that first half alone. That's how many chances we were making against this team. And I don't think it's just that we played really well. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they just did not play well. And so there is positives to take out on this. I think Frankie de Jong really turned his match around. He was having a really poor first 20 minutes, and I'm going to be critical of him because I do praise him a lot. And so I think we do need to criticize players when they don't play well and when they do. And Frankie had a really poor 20 minutes, and then he was one of the best players in the pitch at the end of that match. He was very solid on the ball. He didn't lose it. He lost it like 4 times in the first 25 minutes, and after that, he was really tidy on the ball. But not only was he tidy on the ball, he did really, really solid after that. Creatively, he was involved in pretty much every goal you saw, whether he was the second or third pass leading to that goal. He was really solid, very important, and very, confidence-inducing for fans to see him play like that. And I think a lot of that also has to do with how Christensen played. The guy played pretty well defensively, as he does always, but he played really, really well on the ball. He did okay. He gave it away 1 or 2 times, which obviously you're going to expect from a center back playing that position. That's what we expect from him. But he did well on the ball. And so I'm happy with that. Also, Cancelo had a really good game. Yeah, he looked pretty solid today, but he looked solid defensively too, which is a little uncharacteristic from him, but he looked pretty solid. Araujo, great game. Koundé, great game, and really good from Kubarsi. Really no complaints there. It's hard to struggle play against Getafe. They have a good front line. Mason Greenwood is okay. He hasn't been playing well, or he didn't play magisterial today because I think Barca's backline did so well. We also handled Mayoral pretty well. He's not the easiest guy to play against, but he did pretty well. And so I'm pretty happy with how this backline played today. As for like Felix, he did okay. I think he had like 1 glaring miss that he had. He did walk out with a goal, but it was a pretty easy chance to make. Great job from Christensen there to help create that. But I think we can ask a little bit more from him next time. He's still coming back from injury, so it's okay, but it's still the case. Now, Lewandowski was very impressive today. I mean impressive. He didn't walk out with any goals no, he did score a goal, or did he? I don't even remember. But the guy had a good game because he was linking up really well with the rest of the team, and that's not something he's done for so long. Like it was very impressive today from Lewandowski, and I think he deserves credit for that. I've been so critical of him. I've been so incredibly critical of him for so long, and I think I need to call out when he does well in his link-up play, because that's the thing I've said is terrible this entire season. It wasn't good against Napoli, but today it was fantastic. The way he linked up well with his teammates, he didn't lose the ball a ton, and he's been losing the ball so much. So the fact that he was able to connect with Fermin Lopez when he came in, and Gundo when he was on the pitch. Gundo, who, by the way, was fantastic today, was really good. He got a little feisty and got a yellow card, but for the most part, had a really good game. And so the players, I think, individually today played very well for the most part. I really don't think there is an obvious flaw with any of their games. And I think the team overall played really well together as well. And Xavi's subs, I think, were good. I think bringing on Fermin Lopez, giving him good game time, and he ended up getting a goal. It's huge because he needed that. He hasn't been getting minutes, and when he does get minutes, he hasn't been playing that well because I think he's been so stressed with the amount of pressure that he's had put on him. So seeing him get this goal, I think it's big for him, and I'm excited to see how he comes out of this in the next few matches when he does get game time. Roque, again, he missed a chance. That was pretty easy. That led to Fermin's goal off the rebound. But, I mean, I'm pretty happy with Roque. He gets himself in good positions. This is a game where he should succeed. He's good in space and running with the ball and being aggressive against high lines. And so this is a game where he should succeed and excel, and he did play okay. Again, still got to fix that first touch. Still not the best, but, you know, we could say that about Rafinha too. People in chat were saying Rafinha's still a little cold from the injury, but Rafinha, for a lot of his time at Barça, he's been very streaky. He can score a good goal. He can make a good touch on his left foot, but then he's also slow. The next play, he will be a little too slow to take a shot, or he'll telegraph it a little bit too much, trying to get onto his left, like he did today a few times, and, you know, they'll tackle it and we'll lose the ball. But for the most part, both of them, Roque and Rafinha, played out. Rafinha more so than Roque, but Roque we could have seen more of. Hopefully next game we do see a little bit of Mark Yu, but I need to give credit to Xavi for this game management. I think it's smart to bring on Pedri for Gundo at the end of that match. I think there's been some really big arguments against Xavi recently and his game management, and so I need to address when he does well, like he did today. I think it was a good idea to take off Christensen when he did. He didn't wait too long. These guys, they did begin to lose their legs, and when they did, Xavi made those changes. And he made good changes for those positions. Christensen has been getting tired at the end of every match because he's a center back playing in a position where he needs to run a lot more. So, of course, he's going to get tired. He got an assist today, though, so good for him. And then the Fermin sub for Felix. Felix just came out of injury, so it makes sense taking him off and giving him time, as well as just the energy that Fermin can bring to a side is just basically unparalleled right now without Gavi. So, again, a good sub there as well. And I'm happy with Fort getting more minutes, so he looked fine. Didn't really do much, but that's a good thing. You know, he had a couple good runs down the line, nothing crazy creatively or anything like that, but a solid player, a solid game. Ter Stegen, too, in the beginning, him, like Frankie, didn't play well on the ball. Ter Stegen, at least in the beginning of this match, was just not good on the ball at all. And, you know, I think we need to be critical of him. We just got an offer for something like 60 million for the guy, if not more. And we need to start considering if that's a good idea. I think if we get an offer like that, I think we do get rid of him and we move on to another keeper that we can get for like 25 million, like the guy at Las Palmas, or there's a lot of options in La Liga of really good talent. Somebody said Kobel from, I think, Bayern or Dortmund. There are a lot of good options out there and a lot of pretty cheap options. And realistically, Ter Stegen's getting to the end of his line anyway, end of his career. So if we can capitalize on this for 60 million euros, I think I'd do it. I don't know about you guys. I think I accept that, and probably boot Ter Stegen out the door today. But again, I think it'll come. He warmed up throughout that match and found his footing and played better. But realistically, guys, we walked out with a 4-0 win. It's been too long since we've done that, and the kids were, I'm not going to say incredibly clinical today. I haven't looked at the XG stats, but we created a lot of chances. Getafe made it pretty easy for us to do it, but we capitalized on that. We were fumbling through their press a little bit in the beginning, but we found a way to play out of it with those long balls, and it worked. And it worked especially well. We didn't have a super solid midfield. There wasn't a ton of running through that middle like we see from Frankie, or when Frankie and Pedri are playing together. They weren't playing together, and so there was a lot of struggle through that, so we had to use Cancelo out wide, and Koundé even. Koundé played a pretty big part. He played a couple of really good balls over the top to Rafinha and Lewandowski, and they did well with that. They played out of that press. Once they figured it out a little bit, they played out of it well, and we didn't concede in those first 20 minutes where pressure is put onto us, and it makes that creative spark a little bit harder to come by at the end of that match. Now, realistically, I think Getafe had a bad day, and we played well, but I think there are a lot of things to be proud of today and be happy about. And we won 4-0. That's big, and I'm happy. I'm able to get out of here feeling good today for the first time in a little while. I want to address, I saw some comments on the Napoli video saying I was a little overly negative, and I think you were right. I was just reacting because I have to record this right after the match. And so I'm going to be very negative because I was upset. I think we deserved more than a draw in that match, and I think we needed more than a draw. But today, I'm pretty happy. And I see my chat flipping out right now that I said we should get rid of Ter Stegen. And I'm not saying he's bad, by the way, guys. I think he is good, and he is very good. But I think for 60 million or 70 million, whatever we get from Saudi Arabia, it's worth taking a risk at buying a different keeper next summer and seeing what they can do, just because that's a lot of money and we can do a lot more with that. But I'm not saying it's a certain. I understand that, you know, it might not be the best decision, but realistically, I don't think there's a lot of money there for a long time. Like, I think this summer, maybe next summer, but there's not a lot more to go with that, and so getting rid of him might not be a bad idea. De Jong, somebody said, Barcelona said that De Jong scored the club's 11,000th goal this year, and I'm excited he got a goal. I think he needed that. He looked pretty happy after that goal, as everybody was, but he needed a goal. He needed some positivity there. So overall, look, we should be pretty happy. We're walking out of here with a win against not the best side, but a team that can prove to be problematic for us and for a lot of other clubs. So walking out of there with a 4-0 win, but I'm happy, man. I'm happy, and you should be too. But, you know, if you guys are interested, join the Discord. The link will be at the bottom of the top of the description, and so will the merch. Check out, this is my La Pulga design. You can also see one for Johan Cruyff, as well as all our posters. All our sweatshirts and t-shirts are on sale, so if you guys want to check that out and support me, check it out at rolodesigns.com. Again, the link will be at the top of the description. But thank you for everyone who tuned into the stream today, everybody who's watching the second channel, and I love the support the second channel I'm getting. But no video on the main channel this week. It'll come out next week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.